So I've finally gotten around to rewatching all Phase 4 films so far, and I was debating on which one I want to start off with. I plan on going through with my list from best to worst. I'll begin my list of reviews with by far the most successful one so far as of 2022. That's Spider-Man No Way Home, starring Tom Hollland, Zendaya, and Jacob Batalon, returning after the events of Far From Home. Peter Parker's big secret leaks out via a mysterio clip that goes viral. He seeks help in clearing his reputation and fixing the situation from a familiar friend in Doctor Strange. This film is re-releasing in theaters with new scenes, so we'll be watching for more Scooby-Doo jokes. Doctor Strange's spell is thrown off by highly anxious Peter Parker. This ends up messing with the spell and allowing villains from other different universes to enter the MCU. How will Peter Parker and his friends make it out of this multiverse adventure? Hello there, Joel from Real Talk Movies here. I'd like for you to give this video a thumbs up and hit the like button if you can. Help me reach my subscription goal by hitting that red button. And let's get on to the video. Spider-Man No Way Home brings a massive cast of returning characters from different Spider-Man films. Jon Watts had a lot on his plates in terms of directing this massive project, and I think they landed the plane on this one. I have my own thoughts on the film, so give me your thoughts below on what were your highlights of the film. Before I get to some highlights, some quick notes from the film that I wanted to note. I know the FX team is struggling with Marvel's deadlines, but they have to fix the scheduling or time crunches. I also wish that we had more involvement from the other Spider-Man universes. A quick cameo scene from their respective universes would have been a really nice touch. However, these minor complaints and gripes didn't really affect my view on the movie overall. Having Tobey and Andrew return after so many years was absolutely glorious. This Tobey is older and wiser and even figure out a way to handle his problem with goblins. This Andrew's also older but still finding his way along with Tom Holland's Spider-Man. After losing Gwen Stacy, Andrew's Peter Parker stopped pulling his punches and forgot some of what he learned from Uncle Ben. Tobey being the wiser of the three and coming up with the words of wisdom felt so well deserved. Tobey went through his own suffering and dark side in his previous movies. Tobey may or may not be done as Spider-Man, but I have an appreciation for his run because of how little influences comic book movies had back then. As for Tom Holland's Peter Parker, he's dating MJ and seems to be riding on a high momentum. Once his secret slips, his world changes. He spends a lot of time of this film trying to help the invaders of his universe return home safely. Doctor Strange says it's best to send them back exactly where they were pulled from, possibly before dying. Peter obviously disagrees and escapes with the villains in an effort to keep good on his promise to send them home safely. However, Peter Parker loses his Aunt May after Norman Osborn is taken over by the Green Goblin and kills her. This sends Peter Parker down a dark path where only his other selves can console him back. The small nods to Gwen Stacy, Mary Jane, and Harry Osborn were all really nice to see for longtime fans of the franchise. I'm actually glad they didn't bring Venom back to be a part of the team, to be honest, because Tom's Peter Parker should really discover the alien symbiote in Secret Wars or in a later film. We were teased that the symbiote might be on Earth 616 even right now. Doctor Strange was able to find a way back to fix the spell and finds his way back after a quick altercation with Spider-Man earlier in the film. This Peter Parker had to make tough choices late in the film to save the multiverse from collapsing. Doctor Strange undoing the spell would send everyone back to their homes, but also make everyone on Earth 616 forget Peter Parker is Spider-Man. This memory connection existed between MJ and Peter's romance, so MJ also forgets about Peter Parker and their romance. Spider-Man takes off in a new suit and a new direction as Peter Parker starts a new life. The villains of this film are also done pretty well. Doc Ock turns from bad to good pretty quick into the film. Having Alfred Molina back in the role was a great direction for Marvel Studios to go in. Willem Dafoe was delightful as ever as Norman Osborn and as the Green Goblin. The insanity is still there, man. It would have been really cool to have seen a fight between him and Tobey's Spider-Man, but we might end up seeing some of that in the re-release of the film. Cross your fingers. Jamie Foxx was much better in this go-around as Electro. The Lizard and Sandman also returned from their original film. The building blocks of this film were on the multiverse, and it was a fun introduction to see what's to come from Marvel Studios. As far as my rating for the film, I would give it a solid A. The film delivered on nostalgia, music, story, and characters. I was very much impressed with the third film, and I can't wait to see where Marvel Studios takes the crawling webhead next. In terms of the spoilers, in terms of the Easter eggs, in terms of all the references that have been attached to this movie, we had Daredevil showing up as Matt Murdock. Not the first time we're going to see him, obviously. If you've watched She-Hulk trailers, you probably know what I'm talking about. I thought including both the other Spider-Man and bringing in their input, bringing in their wisdom from their perspective and what they've struggled with to this Tom Holland and kind of integrating it into one new Spider-Man and essentially kind of reflecting it in the new suit. I think Michael Giacchino is the man for putting music in this and the Batman movie and in a lot of other projects. I think a lot of people were getting overwhelmed by the casting announcements. I think everybody was getting a little worried about it being more like Spider-Man 3 or The Amazing Spider-Man 2, where you're kind of getting a little too many cooks in the kitchen, but in terms of actors and in terms of villains and in terms of heroes in the film. And Jon Watts, again, again, credit to him. I think he did a wonderful job establishing all of those different universes within this one, and he was able to tell that in a cohesive beginning into end story. It's very simple, good plot structure the whole time. Tom Holland's Spider-Man will return in a later film. We aren't really sure on when that is. He's also taken a much deserved break from social media, so don't expect any leaks from him this time. All that could change with D23 coming up very soon, so subscribe to my channel to see my reaction and analysis of the reveals coming up from there. Leave this video a like and subscribe for more videos. Check out some of my other videos on your screen right now. This has been Joel from Real Talk Movies. See you soon.